Hi, I'm Ruth Williamson with 1 Million Cups in Sherman, and we're here today on February 20th with our 1 Million Cups group. Our sponsors are Douglas Distributing, Ideation Station, Beam Me Up that provides the coffee, and TechWave that provides all our technology. And we have a short presentation from 1 Million Cups.
1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation.
It's a place where our entrepreneurs can come and connect within the community.
There's a real kind of vibe or a real energy here that's about supporting entrepreneurs.
We have two presenters each week, two entrepreneurs. They come and tell about their journey. They each have about 6 minutes to present.
You're telling people what you're up to, and you're essentially getting feedback from them.
There's about 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A.
All the questions that they asked us really got us thinking about new ways to think about our business.
It was good just to be able to get that feedback from the rest of the community.
So over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
Last question for you, what can we as a community do for you?
The what can we as a community do to help you question is what really coalesces the community around every single presenter.
When somebody applies to present to 1 Million Cups, they're instructed to watch a series of videos through the Kauffman Founder School website.
It's invaluable information for someone who's founding a startup.
I felt better prepared, I felt more confident, and I think a little more focused than I would have been otherwise. Had I not watched the videos of the Founder Schools, it was a great way to prepare.
I really like the educational component of 1 Million Cups because it does create that open forum.
You're going to hear great ideas that will help you start thinking even more about what you want to do with your business.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
The cool thing about 1 Million Cups is that you're amongst other people like yourself. Just hearing someone talk about their startup, it just was magical to think, wow, there's other people out there like myself.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something, it's worth pursuing, it's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
So I'd like to welcome you, and for those of you out there in the community that are interested in becoming a presenter, or if you have a business idea, please contact us. There's a different mindset for people that become entrepreneurs, that become employers, that become makers and service providers. And our presenter today, Profit Producers, engages with these people to help them make sure they meet one of their goals, which is to actually make money. So I'd like to introduce you, Jeff. Come up and give your presentation. You have 6 minutes.
Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. And thank you very much. My name is Jeff Kikel. I am the president of So I am the CEO and founder of T-Works Co-working. I also am the president of BK Wealth Consulting. So I spent most of my career in the wealth management business, and a few years ago founded a co-working space. And one of the things that I found during that time period was I had one big why. For some reason, my business over those time periods survived. Yet I had a bunch of friends who were wildly talented at what they did, who were excellent at their skill sets, but they went out of business during the time period that I was working and building my business. And our business thrived during that time period. And I began to ask that question, why? Why were people going out of business when I wasn't? The challenge is most small business owners, especially the ones who are starting up at the very beginning, are trying to figure out how to make profits, how to make money, and they cannot figure out how to make money. They focus so much on one thing, which is building something, that they totally forget the other part of it. So I started looking at it and saying, well, I always focused on profits. They're always focused on products. We need to change that mindset. We need to get people thinking that I produce profits. That's what we need to be doing every day. That's what we build businesses for. So as I started to analyze it in my world, I started to look at it and say, there's got to be something about this, and I really discovered that there were 3 secrets when I looked at our business and I looked at the people that were successful at what they did. There were 3 things that made them successful. The first secret was businesses without a vision, mission, or basic financial skills are just dead in the water. They're going to die if they do not get this fixed. So one of the things that we started to do as we developed out this Profit Producers program was we teach them about vision, mission, their customer. We teach them about time management, which is a killer for most business people, and we teach them about basic financials. How do you read a financial statement? How do you actually do a pro forma? How do you figure out where your business needs to be in a few years? Secret number 2 was that modern businesses have to have 4 tools in their business that are all interlinked, and if you do not have these, you will not have a successful business today. First is a high converting website. Now, did I just say a highly expensive website? No. You need to have a high converting website, which means that it can be one single page, but it needs to tell people who you are, what do you do, and how do I buy stuff from you, period. Anything else is extraneous. Any other pages are totally extraneous. You have to have sales funnels. What is a sales funnel? It's a sort of web page that actually takes people through the process of actually buying something from you. And this can be used regardless of whatever type of business you have. You can funnel people into even getting them to go to a webinar or whatever it is. Email marketing. You have to have a backup system that keeps in contact and builds an audience, builds people up over time. And then you need social media. You need to create an audience that looks at you, knows who you are, and then funnels into this whole system you've created. The last one is you have to have more than one revenue stream today. If you don't, your business is going to die. It just doesn't work. You can take over the world if you have more than one revenue stream. So what do I mean by that? First off, you have to have automation in your business because you cannot do this by yourself. Especially at the beginning, you need to automate as much of those processes. Otherwise, if you're doing it all manually, you're never going to get it done. You have to have high-performance networking. And what I mean by that is whether that's in person or whether that is through following people on the internet, interacting with them on the internet, you have to have a high-performance version of that. You have to track it, you have to measure it, you have to do everything that keeps you on track. You have to have what I call the social tsunami. What that means is you have to get out there every place. You have to be on all social channels. You have to interact with people. You have to be out there because if you're not, you're just sitting at home in your fuzzy bunny slippers and nobody's going to come buy anything from you. You have to have sales skills. And I mean sales skills as in personal, but also sales skills as far as how do you structure offers, how do you build value over time. And then you have to have multiple income streams. You have to look at the knowledge that you have in your head and you have to say, I know how to do this, but now I'm going to put this in 18 different venues of how I do this. So our solution was what we call Profit Producers Launchpad. This is actually our beginning program of a series of programs that focuses on helping people build profitable businesses. So what is it? The offer is, it's an 80-page workbook. It's about $80 value. 30 hours plus of video, about $250 value, 30 plus hours of audio, about $150 value, an online academy and private Facebook group, which is, I think, one of the best parts about it because it's other people interacting, and these people are all over the world. And last but not least, I've created a 20 proprietary tools, about $400 value, and this was from my own coaching practice, working with people, taking things from other people. We created these tools so that people don't have to create them. We take all of that, it's about $1,240 value. We launched this at $497. The reason it is at $497 is I wanted to make it reachable for every possible business. Even if you're struggling, you can figure out a way to make $497 to help you get through this process. The program is designed around 42 days, 6 weeks, to get you through to being a profitable business. And if you will listen, you can get yourself to a profitable business in that time. We'll teach you all the little tips and tricks and techniques. Why do I know this works? Because when I built this program, I basically applied these techniques to this business and it works. And a lot of what you see when you go through the online is actually me doing it. So I built a website in less than 30 minutes on here, and I actually tracked when I did, and it's the website that we use for profit producers. Our distribution strategy is primarily direct sales, so small business owners and entrepreneurs, and then affiliates, so independent co-working spaces, CPAs, bookkeepers, bankers, and other affiliate marketers who get into these. Our questions today for the audience are, what are your thoughts about pricing strategy? What other markets would you suggest we focus on? And last but not least, what else would you want to see in a program like this? So with that, I open it to the audience.
I think your pricing strategy is excellent.
Okay.
I've participated in masterminds where we focused on those exact things in small groups, doing P&Ls, looking at packaging,
Perfect.
all of those different kinds of things. And then
Yeah.
in my corporate sales background, I was in operations and IT, but I worked with sales
Yeah.
people. You know, you've got your compensation strategy, which drives, you know, what's going to happen with outside salespeople, inside salespeople. You have to tell people what the value is.
Sure.
You know, and they can either buy it or not. But then when you come to price, is it affordable? So that's the main thing about, you know, your presentation and getting this out to people. I assume that what we would see on the web or when you do presentations will be a little bit expanded on what you just showed us.
Exactly.
And so you're leading people through. One of the best people that I had instructed me to be very careful about selling past the close. So you have to know in this venue, in this venue, in this venue, when do you see the buying indicators?
Yep.
And when do you be quiet and let the prospect, you know, take over? And because people get so busy
Well, it is.
talking about their thing that they actually sometimes put up more objections and they don't listen to their
Absolutely.
customer avatar, their target customer
Sure.
prospect.
Sure.
So I think that's excellent. I think that
How do you feel about the information, you know, the organization of the information? Does it make sense?
it makes a lot of sense
Okay.
because it's very much like what people are doing in the market today, whether it's, you know, a Franklin Covey or a Maxwell or, you know, anybody else. This is a norm.
At a significantly higher price point in a lot of
Yes,
cases.
and that's the norm.
Mhm.
So that would be the thing that when you're a few years into it, you've got to think about what's my real differentiation,
Sure.
because it looks a lot like
Yeah.
a lot of other packages that are out there.
Well, and we were having a discussion earlier about this before you came into the room. This is actually a series of trainings over time. So this is the first level. This is what we call Launchpad. What we're trying in this one is to give them enough information to be able to get to profitability. And then the next phase is what we call Accelerate, which is really focused around, okay, how do you take now this business that's at least profitable, it's probably not making you a whole lot of money, but it's profitable, how do you take it to the next level? And that's really where you fine tune, okay, who are my best clients, who will pay me, you know, how do I speak specifically to them, and then how do I take that message and I become the most recognized expert in the market in what I do.
So one of the things I like to ask people, and I want to ask if you do the same thing, I want to know what profitable and success looks like
Absolutely.
for them. Because my idea of profitable or what's going to go to the bottom line may be different than theirs.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's at a different, phase in life.
That is literally day 2 of the program, is we actually have them sit down and write out, and I have some very intensive goal planning worksheets. They're basically one full page for one goal that really lays out all the details of it, and then, what are the action steps it's going to take to get to that point when they have their goals. And we kind of force them to dig a little deeper. Because most people will create goals that are realistic. I try and tell people, create goals that are wildly unrealistic, that are so big that you get to the point where you start to believe that I can do anything, and I do believe I can do anything. I mean, this has started in these small little events in Texas, but this will go worldwide. I have no doubt that we will take this worldwide. That is my world domination. I want to create as many profitable small businesses as I possibly can help do over time. So that's our mission statement, is we want to create profitable businesses everywhere in the world and make people successful and sustainable.
If you don't see the big, huge, giant goal, you then break things down into quarterly and 2-week deliverables,
Absolutely.
you don't know what to say no to. Because the problem is, something is going to come along that will diverge you from this, and you have to decide, is this a real opportunity, or do I need to say no to that so I stay on the path?
Funny you say that. I just did a podcast last night in my hotel room, and that was one of the things. How do you make yourself mentally tough as a business owner is what the podcast is about. So I do a podcast called Profit Nation, and that was exactly one of the things I got it out of an article was when to say no. How do you say, being able to say no to people. You've got to pick and choose your battles.
And I want to go back to your multiple income stream concept, because as people listen to that and come and think about multiple income streams, and I'm sure you did it with your space and have done it with mine, you say, that's not really working. I'm going to quit.
Yeah, you got to know. Yeah, you got to have the old Kenny Rogers song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That's actually it. You've got to be able to fail fast. Realize, oh crap, this doesn't work. Adjust. And that's what small business today. I mean, you worked in big corporate world. I worked in big corporate world as well. A lot of times you would have projects that would go on for years, but there was no chance of that ever actually working. Well, when you have a multi-million-dollar budget to play around with, that's fine. When you're a small business, if you make a mistake and it's a money-sucking mistake, you got to get out quick.
Right. Well, so do corporations. They just
tend
it's
not
a different process to, close something out. So, but it actually, it's the same process. You just have to have the same tools that you do to start one. You have to have a sponsor. You have to have organizational buy-in. And when you're a small business, you can say, just yourself, that's not working, I'm going to quit. And you just go to your website and everything and just peel all of that out. And adjust.
Bad idea.
Yeah, didn't exist.
I've had more bad ideas than good ideas over the last 3 years of my businesses, and we just stop it. Yeah, we stop it and go on to something else.
And go with what is working.
And I mean, this program actually it's probably the third iteration of 2 bad ideas that have turned into a really good idea. And it was taking a step back from creating training, and this is something that I will tell everybody, is you're ever creating any kind of training or any kind of program, you really have to know your audience. You've got to go in and really get to know them and understand it. And how I developed this program is I spent about 1.5 years coaching startup businesses. So they would pay me, and I made no money doing this, but they were my test ground and my beta test group, and testing different techniques to see what worked. And this is the culmination of this. This is the way that I can scalably make me be everywhere.
Right.
And take advantage of me, but I don't have to be there involved in it day to day, because I just don't have the time and the bandwidth to do it, but I can do it this way.
And on pricing strategy in your pitch, the last thing I would do is you're training people to do things and measure it and understand their outcomes.
Yep.
In your pitch, include that. You will know that this $497 pays off from you when A, B, C.
Absolutely.
That's measurable.
Yeah.
And when you're in that one-on-one, then you have to have listened enough to be able to tell them. When you're pitching it, your sales letters and things on the internet, you have to come up with something that's universally true. So your stories that you tell, your ideal customers that you've got out there that say, I was successful in this, you hone down to that point and you reiterate that point, over and over. So on your buy now button underneath there, after you press this is how you'll know.
Yep.
Or it's a pop-up or,
Oh, yeah. I'm a big
all of that
ClickFunnels
kind
guy,
of.
so I teach people ClickFunnels. So
That's right.
I just completed it was just a week ago, I just completed the One Funnel Away challenge with ClickFunnels. So that was
Right.
30 days of nonstop internet marketing, which was phenomenal. So I would recommend it to anybody out there in the audience. If you want to learn how to do sales funnels, it is amazing. When they do one of these, they only do them a couple times a year, and you just get into it and be prepared to spend a lot of time because it's 30 days of nonstop work.
Right.
So I know this can be done. I know my program can be done in 42 days because I just did that plus running 3 other businesses plus building a whole program in that time period. So it can be done. You just have to stay on top of it every day.
And in that you'll know it's working. That's what we need
Sure.
as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small businesses. We need the affirmations to know and the measurements to know what's working well.
And one of the first steps of the whole process that we have everybody do is make a commitment. They actually go onto our Profit Nation and our Profit Producers internet site and onto our social media, and we have them just like I had in my picture, the sign that says I produce profits. We do that same thing. We have them all put that out there to show, hey, this is I'm making the commitment that I'm going to produce profits as well and make them part of the community.
I was just wondering on the pricing, if somebody didn't have $497, do you have a payment plan?
We don't, and I'm somewhat against payment plans just from my experience with these really short programs like this. People will get into it. It has a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
if you don't, in the first 30 days, if it isn't working for you, then I'll refund your money 100% during that time period. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible, but that's part of why I priced it at $497. That's not that unreachable for anybody. Figure it out. You're an entrepreneur, figure it out. Anytime I've done a payment plan, I've regretted it every time because people will go for a while and then they're like, oh, I don't really need this anymore. Well, you've had access to my IP this whole time, and then, oh, now I don't want to pay for it. So like I said, we will keep that price at that level for as long as I possibly can because I think it's a reachable point for almost anybody. I mean, go find a big city and drive Uber for a couple days, you can do that easily. I've done it before. I did this when I was writing a book for police officers. I looked at different ways to make money and how I could make $500 in less than a week. And there was multiple ways that you can do it. The gig economy is awesome.
It is awesome.
Sell your skills somewhere. I mean, Upwork is a great one. So if you're out there in the audience and you're trying to figure out how to make $500, go on Upwork, figure out what your talents are, and then sell your talents to somebody else, and people will pay you to do tons of different things. What else?
What other markets would you suggest that you focus on? So let's go back to that list because you're going into co-working spaces, CPA. How are you reaching the introvert CPAs, bookkeepers?
We're directly marketing to them. So we're actually directly marketing. One of the cool parts about this program, the system that I use is called Kartra. It's the online education system that I use, which is amazing. It's relatively new, and I think it's going to be a competitor for ClickFunnels down the road. They've really got a really neat system, and they have a built-in affiliate program. So effectively, anybody that goes through this program is an affiliate, and they have an affiliate link. And so another way, if you go through the program and you want to pay for that program somehow, become an affiliate, get 5 other people in, poof, you've just paid for the program effectively at that point. But CPAs, I'm working directly with CPAs. I've already started piloting this with a couple CPAs in my area. We're doing that with the beta test of the new program, and it's working. I mean, and they're happy because it's another revenue source for them. Bankers, sometimes they can be part of an affiliate program, sometimes not. A lot of times, they just need somebody to walk this person through and fix their business before the bankers get there. So they enjoy this program from that simple fact. And then affiliate marketers, people that just, hey, I don't really want to create stuff, but I'm really good at getting the word out to other people. Affiliate marketers are fantastic for this.
I send people who have the fantasy of, I'm going to go into business and do this, whatever it is, to a banker really early.
Yeah.
Before they start doing anything, I say, okay, I want you to go get your financials, go to a banker and tell him your idea.
Yeah.
And what you need to prepare for him to lend you money.
Absolutely.
And, you know, people have said, no, I'm gonna continue, or I'm gonna do this, or a different thing. Because sometimes people are already self-employed and they're providing services or something like that, and they think they wanna do something that's more capital intensive. A restaurant, a coffee shop, a thing like that. And it's like, well, you need to go and figure out how much you're gonna, your capital, your asset, what that's gonna cost you.
One of the things I teach people in this program and all the other programs, you need to have a banker that you have a good relationship with, you need to have an attorney that you have a good relationship with, a business attorney, and you need to have a bookkeeper or a CPA. That, you know, even if you're not formally using them yet, you need to start building a relationship with them, because they're your advisors that can help you to get through this process. I mean, that's one of the beauties of having a co-working space. I don't know about yours, but my space, I've got CPAs, bookkeepers, attorneys, you know, all that work out of the space, everybody but a banker, but I've got relationships with tons of bankers. They can walk down the hallway and talk to somebody and say, hey, I've got this idea, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Tell me if this makes sense or not. So that's one of the things. If you have a co-working space anywhere where you're at, highly, highly, highly recommend that you get into it. And whatever level, I mean, most of us have different levels for people. Whatever level it takes, get in there, because that interaction with other business people is invaluable. Or become part of these 1 Million Cups groups, or whatever it takes.
I noticed on the affiliate program, you don't have SBDCs down there.
I don't have SBDCs down there because I didn't want to formally put that down there, and they're not necessarily, they're sort of an affiliate because they're a governmental entity, but yes, we do work with SBDC. So for those of you that don't, out in the audience, that have never heard of SBDC, it's the Small Business Development Centers, and they're all over the country. Typically they're through local colleges, is usually where they're housed out of, or local chambers of commerce. And one of the benefits of an SBDC is it's a governmental entity that's there to help you grow your business and help you to grow and give you resources and get you in contact with resources, especially on the lending side, and getting you prepared for that. That's a big thing that we're doing down in Central Texas. We've launched this program, and we're working with our local SBDC on our programs to help prepare people to get into SBDC, so that our local SBDC is working with people that, okay, now we can really help you. We're not having to keep sending you back to somebody else to, okay, I need you to be here before we can get you, before I can really help you move forward. We want to keep the momentum going and work with our local SBDC to get to that next level. Well,
what was the next one?
What else would you like to see, in which we kind of addressed in there?
Yeah.
So what I want to do for everybody is I have a gift for you. which is I completed an ebook on time management, because this is the skill that I think it's one of the most basic skills. And all these presentations is a gift to go into these different 1 million cups, the audiences and all the feedback. I want to thank you all for that. And y'all will get this book. Just give me your business card and I'll give you that book. For those of you that are online watching this and want this, because you've been through the presentation, Ruth is going to put a link into the
Description.
the description in there, and it'll have my email address. Just email me directly, and I will go ahead and send you the book. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, and thanks to 1 Million Cups as always.
Well, thank you. We've really enjoyed having you. What a great presentation. We'll be here next week with a new presenter, and we are thinking about going to once a month like your group does. I will probably use your talk here to encourage people to, connect with the Small Business Development Center and economic development and things that are in Denison, because those resources are really helpful. I can hand you a Google worksheet or something with a P&L in it, but you have to know what you're going to do.
That's exactly right. You've got to have the whole picture, and that's
right.
It's an absolute requirement. So utilize your resources. There's tons of wonderful resources that are available to you, whether they're paid or whether they come, from entities that are there to help you. So I would encourage you, reach out, try and get as many people thinking about your idea as you possibly can. It's why I'm driving all over the state of Texas doing this, and outside. Every presentation has added something to both the presentation and also to the program. So it's a great place, and I would encourage you, if you've started a business, you've got a unique idea that you want to try out, go out to 1 Million Cups and find those locations around you and apply and get up and speak. I mean, it's not hard. You don't explode. It's only 6 minutes, and you'll learn an immense amount.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Ruth.
And thanks to 1 Million Cups Sherman, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.
Thanks.